Vocals always seem to be the biggest frustration point for all of us as music producers, getting them to sound nice, thick, and warm, but without them muddying up our mixes always becomes a problem. So today I want to teach you two different ways to thicken up your vocals, and you can even use them in tandem to make really nice thick vocals without reaching for your EQ and starting to muddy up your mix. But before we get into the video, I have a gift for you. I have crafted the ultimate guide to recording vocals at home, and you can get it for free. Just click the link in the description. I go through absolutely everything you need to know to record great, incredible, professional sounding vocals at home. I go through what microphone and interface I recommend, how you can record great sounding vocals anywhere in your house using a thing I like to call the pop-up acoustic treatment technique. I go through EQ and compression, tons of incredible stuff that I know you're gonna find valuable inside of that guide. So click the link in the description, get the guide, and start recording great sounding vocals at home, and start using tricks like this to make them even better. All right, so let's get right into it. We have this vocal here. There's a lot of vocals in this song, but this one specifically, I wanted to thicken up a little bit. It just seemed a little bit thin, and I wanted to add some warmth and body to it. So without reaching for EQ and starting to muddy things up in the mix, and then I have a tough time actually hearing the vocal anyway, there are two things that I like to do to add warmth to a vocal without immediately reaching for your EQ. Number one is parallel compression. So this is what our track looks like right now. We have just a channel strip emulator here, and then we have some EQ and some compression. And this is what the vocal sounds like with that.
But we can never go.
We're hitting about -3 to -5 dB.
You can never know. We'll cleanse.
That sounds pretty good, but I'm looking for a little bit more of an aggressive like attack kind of on that vocal to really just thicken up and to set in the mix. So first things I do is I will pull up a compressor with a mix knob. This is important. You could run this to a bus if you wanted to and do it that way. I prefer to do it this way with a mix knob. And we want to get really, really, really aggressive with this compressor, and then we want to blend it in. So I'm just going to set this to the aggressive setting. Turn this up here, peak reduction there, and output gain. Like I said, get really aggressive with it. Maybe you set the ratio at 4 to 5 and make sure the speed is super, super fast. And let's see what it sounds like at 100% wet.
But we can never go home, and some things you can never know. We'll cleanse all our sins and put.
Yeah, that's a lot of compression there. And let's turn it all the way off here.
But we can never go home.
Let's blend it in.
And some things you can never know. We'll cleanse all our sins in purgation and pray the ghosts on our own.
Yeah, now that's really, really aggressive. A lot of those breaths and stuff like that are really kind of coming up to the front, and that's not something we want, but we want to be able to blend it in. So now we're going to take our mix knob all the way down, and we're going to blend it in with our original vocal until we kind of find something that we like.
But we can never go home, and some things you can never know. We'll cleanse all our sins in purgation and pray the ghosts on our own.
About 55 to 60% seems to be pretty solid for me.
But we can never go home, and some things you can never know. We'll cleanse all our sins in purgation.
That sounds really, really good. If this doesn't do everything you're looking for, there is one extra thing you can do, and it is called saturation. Now, I'm just running another channel strip emulator here, but you can use some sort of overdrive or any saturation plugin that you have. And personally, I like to put it before my aggressive compressor here, my parallel compression. And what we want to do is we just kind of want to push it a little bit and bring out some extra saturation. What saturation does is it adds extra frequencies to the vocal that's already there. It adds harmonics. So anything that's in the key, it just kind of like layers them in there. It's absolutely brilliant, and I love doing it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You really want to play with what works specifically for your song and your vocalist. So let's take a listen and see what this sounds like. We're just going to kind of push it just a little bit.
But we can never go home.
Yeah, you can
and
really
some
distort
things
it,
you
but
can never know. We'll cleanse all our sins in purgation and pray the ghosts on our own. But we can never go home, and some things you can never know.
all right, so I'm thinking that sounded pretty good, but let's turn these on and then turn these off and see what they sound like. So with them on.
But we can never go home, and some things you can never know. We'll cleanse all our sins in purgation and pray the ghosts on our own.
So those are the two main things that I like to do to add warmth and body to a vocal. So if you want to know how to record vocals that sound great, even out of the box, just like this here, go download my guide in the description like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I know it'll help you. It's something that I wish I had when I started. So thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing. Now, go create.